Hi, and welcome to Rural Art Connection, the place where your boredom ends and creativity begins. Today we are going to make a Brigid's cross in honor of St. Brigid's Day. So, because I live in Arizona and I could not get a hold of rushes or really long grasses, I went to my favorite store, the 99-cent store, and so for $2.99 I got this bouquet. And so I figured I would use these flowers for other things since they're like the perfect color for Brigid, or for St. Brigid's Day, Imbolc, or Ostara, other festivals and Gaelic celebrations that are coming up. But it had these really nice rush like reed pieces. And some that were totally separated like this with no flowers. So I separated the bottom and all the wrapping that was on the bottom. There was 5 bunches, and I cut the longer, thicker reeds off of the bottom so that I had 16 pieces like this one. So it's like a long reed piece. So if we lived in Ireland or Scotland, other parts of England that had really nice reeds growing this time of year, that's what we would be using. But I'm stuck in Arizona in the middle of the desert, and our grasses are not what you would really need for this, and I didn't really have time to go and find a more organic alternative. To start off, you take your first reed, and then also too, I practiced this before, and these reeds are really slick. If these were actual plant-based reeds, they would not be as slick, and you'd be able to hold everything together without glue. But I'm gonna use glue to hold it together. I use scissors to cut it apart. I'm gonna use some jute thread to tie it at the end, and I have some hair elastics to hold it temporarily while I tie it. So here we go. So if you find like roughly the middle of your first piece of grass, you're gonna get your second piece and fold it in the middle, and holding it in your left hand, you're going to lay it over the top of the middle like this. So like I said, if this were organic, I would not have to glue it. Because it is not organic and it's really, really slick, I'm gonna put some glue here. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be able to hold it in place like it should be. So there's that. There's the first piece. Then you pinch it and then you turn it. And then the second piece overlaps your folded reed. So I turn it again. So here's my second reed, and everything's gonna line up square to the next one. So it looks like this so far. Okay, trying to keep everything even. And like I said, if these were organic, it would not be so difficult. But because I am working with plastic reeds, they don't act like regular reeds, and so they don't lay down as nicely. So then here is my third add-on piece. So it goes over the top of all of them, and so it makes a nice little square like this. I'll pinch it here. Rotate it again, and again it's a matter of keeping everything straight while you hold it with your left, continuing to add glue. Okay, here's my next piece, folded. That goes over my previous one like this, and then I'm going to rotate it and pinch it here, and then we just keep going around and around and around till we use all 16 pieces that we have laid out. Now, why exactly would we want to make a Brigid's cross? Well, it's a really great way to celebrate Imbolc. Imbolc is a Celtic traditional holiday that's celebrated usually February 1st through sundown on February 2nd. It's the midway point or halfway point between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. And so St. Brigid was patron saint for poetry, for Irish nuns, newborns, midwives, dairymaids, and cattle. She's also symbolized with lambs and calves. Imbolc is a fire festival that celebrates new life, new beginnings, the end to the long, cold winter, and the start of hope and brighter and sunnier days. Also, Candlemas is a Christian holiday celebrated on February 2nd, has aspects in common with Imbolc because there's also the traditional burning of candles. And then Groundhog's Day also is on February 2nd, which began in the United States in 1887. If the groundhog exits its burrow and it sees its shadow or it doesn't see a shadow, it will determine the continuation or the end of winter, usually by 6 weeks or so. Apparently, it was a stunt by a newspaper in Pennsylvania that has continued on as a tradition in the United States ever since. Alright, so it's only been a little bit for you guys, but it's been a couple of hours for me. No, maybe like an hour. So I just kept going around and around and around, and I decided, because each branch of the Brigid's cross represents a season, and so we've got spring, summer, autumn, and winter. So I did a spring branch or arm of the cross, then summer, then autumn, and autumn is one of my favorites, and I really like Halloween, so I put this little medallion on here. So autumn or fall, and then winter. And I know winter usually doesn't have flowers at all, but I don't have any items that would work for you know, winter at this current moment. And then since mine is plastic reeds, I had to go ahead and use a hot glue gun because the glue stick was just not cutting it. Glue stick was not my friend today. It was not sticking. So I went ahead and used glue stick. And because I decided to add all these seasonal flowers, it became really heavy. So to make sure that it was sturdy enough to hang, I went ahead and hot glued a piece of cardboard onto the back to stabilize it with a hair tie as a hanging point. And I also used a hair tie to tie on my little medallion. Now the little medallion is a counterbalance. So this branch is really heavy. And so when you hang it, it's supposed to hang on its point like this, like a diamond. So to counterbalance that, this little salt dough medallion does the trick for the counterweight, so it can hang like this. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you try to make one, especially if you can make one with real reeds and real grasses. That's better than the plastic. But the nice part about this plastic one is that the flowers are going to stay nice all year round. However, I wouldn't mind having real flowers and just having them dry on here. I feel like that would be really beautiful, watching it change as the seasons change. But there you go. So happy St. Brigid's Day to everyone, February 1st through February 2nd. Happy Spring Festival. Happy Imbolc. And first day of February. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.